For a long time, the most powerful AI has felt, well, locked away, right? Stuck in the cloud, behind some big company's walls. But that is changing, and it's changing fast. Today, we're diving into how this AI revolution is moving from these huge data centers right onto your own desk.
We're in the middle of this really fundamental shift. You know, the kind of cutting-edge AI that used to be the exclusive playground for big tech? Well, it's breaking free. It's this incredible decentralization of power, and it's putting these amazing tools directly into the hands of developers, researchers, and, well, pretty much anyone.
And honestly, this is the most exciting part. We're not talking about needing some crazy supercomputer in your basement. This tech is now so optimized that it can run on the hardware a lot of us already own. Your gaming rig, your work laptop, it's turning into a potential powerhouse for your own private, local AI. Okay, so to really get where we're going, we first have to understand the current lay of the land. You know, the huge cloud-based giants that have really set the stage for the AI race so far.
You know these names, for sure. OpenAI's GPT-5 is still the top dog for really complex coding and agentic stuff. Google's Gemini 2.5 Pro is this multimodal master that can handle text, video, you name it. And xAI's Grok 4 can literally pull in real-time info from the web. They are all incredibly powerful, but they have one big thing in common. They're proprietary. They're black boxes.
And that brings us to the counter-movement, what I like to call the open source rebellion. This is all about developers and researchers saying, no, we don't want a black box, and then building this amazing alternative ecosystem from the ground up.
This analogy just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? With proprietary AI, you get what the company serves you, and that's it. But with open source, you get the keys to the whole kitchen. The raw ingredients, the source code, the recipes, everything you need to look inside, tweak it, and cook up something completely new for whatever you need.
So here's the crucial trade-off, laid out right here. With proprietary models, you're paying subscription fees for a black box that you can't really change much. Open source just flips that whole script. The models are free to use, the code is totally transparent, and you can customize them to do exactly what you want. All right, now let's get to what I think is the most empowering part of this whole open source movement: running these powerful models right on your own machine. I just love this quote because it completely shatters the myth that you need some kind of NASA-level hardware. A normal people computer, maybe with a decent graphics card you bought a couple of years back, can now run models that are seriously competitive with the industry giants. It's wild. So what's the first huge benefit? 100% data privacy. When you run an LLM locally, your data, your prompts, your sensitive info, everything, it never, ever leaves your computer. It's not sent to some third-party server, period. It's all yours. Second, you can totally cut the cord. No internet, no problem. The model runs entirely offline. This means you have this super powerful tool that you can use on a plane, out in the middle of nowhere, or just whenever your Wi-Fi decides to take a break. And third, and this is a big one for a lot of people, no subscription fees. Once you have the hardware, that's it. Your only ongoing cost is basically electricity. For anyone doing long-term projects or just wanting to experiment without a ticking clock, this is an absolute game changer.
Okay, so what exactly are these models? Let's meet some of the champions of the open source world, the ones you can go download and run, like right now.
What's so cool here is just the sheer variety. You've got these absolute behemoths like Qwen 3 for multilingual tasks. Then you've got DeepSeek, which is a powerhouse for math and coding. And then models like Llama, Nematron are purpose-built for creating complex agents. It's not one size fits all.
So let's get specific. Take a model like Qwen 3's 30 billion parameter version. It's fantastic for general chat and asking questions, and it's the perfect example of what we were talking about with hardware. It runs at a totally usable 11 tokens per second on a standard 8 GB graphics card, all while performing on par with giants like GPT-4o.
Or check out Gemma's 27B model. Now, it's a little slower on that same hardware, but what it's great at is incredible. It's amazing for taking a super long, rambling email and giving you, say, 3 different shorter versions. It doesn't just give you one answer, it actually helps you rethink and restructure your own ideas.
Okay, so you've got the hardware, you know which models are out there, now what? How do you actually get them to run? Let's take a look at the software toolkit you're going to need.
First up, you need a backend, or what's called an engine. The easiest way to think about it is like the engine in your car. It's the core software that takes those big model files and does all the heavy computational work using your GPU or CPU. A couple of the most popular ones are Llama and Llama.cpp. Then you need a front end. This is the user interface. It's the chat window you actually type your questions into. It connects to that back-end engine and gives you a nice, simple, graphical way to talk to the model. Tools like Nut Studio and John.ai make this part super easy.
So this table kind of breaks it down. You've got command line backends like Llama for more advanced users, but honestly, for most people getting started, an all-in-one tool with a nice interface like LM Studio or Newt Studio is the way to go. Newt Studio, for instance, gives you one quick access to over 50 models without you having to mess around with any settings.
All right, with all these models and all these tools, it can feel a little overwhelming. So where do you start? Let's walk through a really simple guide for picking your very first local LLM.
It's really just a three-step process. First, what's your goal? Are you trying to code or are you trying to write poetry? Pick a model that's actually good at that. Second, be real about your hardware. Check your GPU's VRAM. That's going to be your biggest limiting factor. And finally, think about the model size. It's so tempting to just download the biggest, baddest model out there, but trust me, starting with a smaller, faster model is often a way better experience.
So as we wrap this up, the big takeaway is pretty clear. The era of AI being exclusively streamed from some far-off data center is giving way to a future that's more distributed, more personal, and way more private. The tools are here, the models are ready, and they're more accessible than ever. So I guess the only question left is it going to be running on your desktop